Okay, this is the next demo of the 1/350 scale Yamato build. We have here the breadboard I have set up with the LEDs. We have over here the speaker and the wave trigger that do the sound. Over here is the stock IR sensor that came with the model that's been integrated in with an Arduino back over here, which is an Adafruit Blue Fruit LE. And a couple other things. There's a little 5-volt power supply, and back over here are the rear two guns. The center is the anti-aircraft guns, and there's the front three guns. I also have over here the application that I've been working on for the model, and over here is the original infrared remote that came along with it. So right now I have just about everything working on it. I need to work on the sounds a little bit because the motor sounds are currently tied in with the LEDs of the guns firing, and I need to redo the sound so the sounds of the guns moving are along with the guns when they turn instead of before the guns actually fire. So let's just do a little bit of a demo of how it starts up. So I'll load the sketch in. And while the sketch loads, each of the front and rear guns have little limit switches on them, and the guns will seek out the limit switches and then center when they initialize, and there they go. Okay. So the ship is now powered up and it's ready to work. So we can go ahead and take the application, and I can go ahead and have it connect up to the model. So then we have a series of controls for it. So we have the different firing for the 5 different guns, and you have the gun rotations and the gun elevation along with the engine. So if I wanted to rotate the guns, I can just go over here and tap on this particular button over here. It's not a lot of room for it, but so you can rotate one way, rotate the other way, change the elevation of the guns. We can also move the center anti-aircraft guns. It's been hard to see, but there they go. And we also have the rear guns rotating in both directions. Also able to elevate, and if you rotate them all the way over, they'll roll over to hit the limit switch, and then it just cuts off the power. And so I can continue to tap it, and it won't strip the gears or anything, and then you can just back it off with the limit switches again, and then it'll do what it needs to do. So that's the motors with the limit switches. Oh, there it goes. That's interesting. The other thing we have over here is the infrared remote, which is this little guy over here. And this works along with the IR sensor, which is that thing right there in the middle of the screen. So the controls on here are pretty much the same. You've got your gun rotation, elevation, gun firing, and your engine over here. So you can just point it toward the IR sensor, hit the buttons, and you can see the stock remote works just like it did on the stock model. And we can rotate the other one, and we have the guns, and that's pretty much getting this thing almost fully up with its stock capabilities, plus some of the additional stuff I added in with the application. Some of the other things the app will do is it will fire the guns, so you can hit the button over here and it will do the gun sound effects and fire off the guns. I still have to get the LEDs in the barrels. And of course the other thing it will do, of course, is the great selection of background music, so you can select whatever tune you want it to play, and it will then play the selection of song from the show. And you can also make it shut up too. So that's about where it is right now. I'm waiting on some brass barrels and some other stuff to come in so I can work on getting the fiber optics inside the guns, and see what I can do with the anti-aircraft guns to see if I can get those lit up. And that's about it for now.